Are you too busy to go get tacos right now? Is it just like insanity around your house?
It's insanity around me. Yeah. I'm in budgets.
Ooh.
Like yearly, annual budgets comparison, year to date. Fuck, I hate that.
Yeah.
Not only for a building, but also for my business. I'm at the end of a launch release campaign that I have to go big in the next month. Dude, I looked at my calendar this morning and had a fucking panic attack. I was like, what were you thinking? Well, because it was like, I finally, a few things have happened. One, my hamstring, I'm kind of out of the therapy area of that. Yeah, just 8 months later, 7 months later, where I feel like I can actually go for long walks. I can do whatever now. I have good mobility. It doesn't hurt. Yeah. And it's stretched right. I think it's close.
Gotcha.
But like, in the summer when I was watching a house and a dog, I had all these like external things happening that I couldn't really do anything. Like I could, remember like we saw each other at that party. Yeah. There were a few parties I had where it was like 30 minutes. I'm in, I have a drink. Hey, how you doing? I'm out.
Good to see you. Bye.
So there was that. And then I had I knew I had Foo Fighters. That we had bought tickets for like
and Billy Idol
7 months prior. And Billy Idol. And that was way up in the mountains. And so I knew it was like that's a getaway. But so everything else I said yes to was not then.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into it. But apparently it's now. Yeah. Like over the next 2 or 3 months, I'm stacked with you on at least 3 things.
Yeah. I mean, I'm stacked with you on 3 to 5 things.
The Grace Potter show, the Sing It To Me Santa thing, the big show at the O.
Oh, yeah, the big show
at the O.
The show. Oh.
But I mean, I've got like Royal Blood. I've got like
that's in a few weeks.
Kids play in Spanish. I have like a Dia de los Muertos thing. I've got like my gal's birthday. I've got like it's like where there's a special thing that's happening that only happens like once that I'm doing. Yeah. There's like that whole weekend is fucking nuts. And I think of it as November. Yeah. And I don't know when this is going to drop, but like it is. Yeah. Very soon. Yeah. Yeah. And everything is happening between now and December 15th.
Yeah. That's about right.
Like literally, dude, like 7 fucking things I've said I'm going to go to. Yeah. And have bought tickets for. Like I have to, kind of. Yeah. Like it's not even just me. It's other people. Yeah. But like dinners and events and things, and I'm like, Jesus, what was I thinking? Like, we haven't had any time to watch scary movies.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's spooky shit season.
It is spooky shit season.
So, yeah.
I
am loaded. Yeah.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine. He runs a corporate entertainment company, kind of like similar to what I do, but I only do mine part-time. He and his wife are full-time in this fucking mess. And I'm filling in on something for him, here and there, and he told me, he's like, I keep waiting for the season to end, because usually that gig is pretty seasonal. You work really insanely hard between April, maybe middle of April, to the end of September, beginning of October at the latest. And they just keep booking and booking and booking and booking. And there's there's estimations that this winter is going to be relatively mild. He said, knocking on wood, because I would like some snow and a fireplace. But, he's like, I can't. He was going to go to the taxi convention out in L.A., do some stuff. And he was like, I just don't have time. He goes, we've just got so much work. I'm like, well, if only you knew a really good looking Scottish man that could, I don't know, potentially.
Who knows a little something about this?
Potentially, I don't know, cover your ass. So we had a conversation about that, so then for the possibly passing some of that stuff my way.
That's good.
Sorry, I sound gardened.
No, you did. That was good, though.
But yeah, like that. Like we keep expecting. This year has been fucking weird. Like the times that
Dude, so fucking weird.
The times that I expected to be the busiest have actually been the deadest. And usually I am like stacked to the rafters June and July, right? And June and July were the quietest months I had all year. And then August, it was fucking crazy. Like everything's, what's the line from Ghost? Like dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. You know, it's like it doesn't make any sense. But the thing that's the beautiful thing about this career is like you're never fucking bored. That's for sure.
No.
Never.
Well, and then you got to make it up half the time. Like, so like we're talking, I'm trying to get back into my personal sync writing and sync pitching.
Yeah.
Instead of covering catalog stuff. So what that means basically, sometimes when I do music licensing, I get a brief and I reach out.
Yeah.
Because there should be a difference between a music supervisor, licensor, and a music producer.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that same person often.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to separate that out and go, okay, now I'm music producer guy.
Yeah.
And so I want my briefs. I want like the shit I do, and I want to pitch some music for me. Mm-hmm. So I like
money really too.
I've neglected that part. Yeah, and I make the money on licensing, and that's fine, but I don't make the back end. I don't participate in the back end, and I want some more mailbox money. 2 shots in a royalty check. How are you?
Yeah.
Because that's, honestly, you guys, if you're listening to this, that's how you get the freedom.
Yeah.
Is the mailbox money.
Mailbox money.
If you can get shit that's, all those startup gurus and CEOs talk about, you'll never gain wealth until you're making money when you're asleep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that is basically what royalties are.
Yep. Yeah.
The work is done. You've been represented.
Yeah.
Your work will live on.
Yeah.
Someone puts that down on a cue sheet and it gets turned in.
Yeah.
So, during all these weird times, I'm trying to ramp that up because I know it takes months.
Yeah, of course.
To make those relationships again and then get into the flow.
Yeah.
And then also this whole thing about recording my back catalog.
Oh, yeah. How is that going?
Studio, like, I don't have time to fucking move everything to a media studio. Like, I need the media studio to do.
Hold on, if you just
the video series, the whole music thing, and like the secret thing that was supposed to happen this summer. And
but
I have to have time to move everything and set it up so that I can do the things that a media studio. It fucking sucks.
So I have a couple of people that owe me moving favors, and they are professional movers. And I'm like gonna throw this out and be like, hey, pick a fucking day, and we'll just move it all downstairs or to the other side of the road or wherever the fuck it's going to.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. It's in the same building.
Oh, it is.
Like, there's not that much hard things to do. There's one hard thing to do, the whisper room.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
If you're doing it right, there's a couple of hard things to do. Hey-o.
ASMR, the whisper room.
But I just pick a day.
I know.
Just like
I know, but here's, I know that sounds simple,
December
right?
16th.
That's moving it into a room. I'm just saying, I have to pick the flooring first, and I got to figure out where the lighting rig is going to go around so that I can put the soundproofing on part of the walls, and I need to figure out which part of those rooms are going to be that and where rig number 1 goes, so Big Mac, rig number 2 goes laptop and secondary Mac.
Do you have analysis paralysis right now?
No, I was looking at carpets this morning. I was looking at rugs this morning. I'm looking at that. I have soundproofing, but I don't know if I have enough.
That's okay. You can always make more.
So, like, when you start a studio, you wouldn't just think about it. Like, you wouldn't just go into the room and let's just bring the mixing console and hope we know where it goes. Like, you got to have kind of placements for things so that you don't spend all time working your shit out. I want it to be ready to go.
Yeah, I understand that, but I also there's no real decision that's final. So if something goes in, you're like, it's not where I fucking want that.
Dude, you don't have a whisper room. The carpet is final.
Okay, that's the carpet is fine.
If you want it on a carpet or not on a carpet.
So
you're going to make that decision for me.
I'll make this decision for you. Sounds like you're not making it. I'm here for you. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to make this decision for you.
I'll stand by you.
It's like lime green, horrible, like, you know, like,
I know.
like with little brown
Well, here's the problem.
pilling on
Okay,
it.
when I did this last year at a place I had to stay for a few months, I bought some furnishings.
Yeah.
And one of the carpets I bought, I thought it'd be so cool. Like, I can't trust myself. I was up high and watching, looking at Amazon.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, a fluffy blue and black carpet, and it's like really floofy.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for it to be delivered, and I'd never see it. And as it turns out, it's like a 9x9 square.
Did you get the Amazon doll furniture?
Yes. So I reorder. I'm like, well, what the fuck? I did it wrong. I go back up, but I didn't even open it. So I go back in, I get to do the thing. You send me the other thing. I get another 9x9 Amazon square, only this time it's as thick as like 3 pillows.
And
I'm like, what the hell? So I get it into the place, I open it up, and it opens up like a parachute, like, and it's like, hi, I'm a 9x11 carpet. And I'm like,
wow.
Well, it can't be good if it came in a square.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be rolled up.
Yeah.
Is that me being, Is that me being bougie? Like, I expect my carpets to be rolled.
Well, you know, I think that you
kinda.
Yeah, well, I mean because that's the way we've seen it. I mean, I remember I got my last mattress delivered. I ordered one of those, like, it was like a Nectar or Purple or some fucking memory foam shit. And it comes in like a tube, and it's like 1/6 the size of the mattress, and you cut and it expands. And it's just like, at first you look at the damn thing and you go, there's no fucking way this works.
No way.
No way. But, you know, maybe I just need to get used to, you know, I don't know, new things. That's what I think.
I'm fine with it. Okay, so same thing. I got a Wink Beds.
Oh, yeah.
Not a sponsor.
Fantastic.
I got a Wink Beds.
Yeah.
They will never be a sponsor because they had horrible service.
Oh, no.
But I got a king.
You are a king.
Because I'm a king, yeah. And so I got like a frame for it. And so it comes in that big box. And by the way, the box always says, you know, use 2 people. Yeah. I love how it's like, use 2 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't say, like, it does say the weight, but I just thought that was interesting. Like, oh, how sad.
Yeah.
You're only one person. You
yeah.
don't know
you
anyone
don't get this mattress. Sorry.
To open your bed. So I did the same thing. I opened it up. I was like, no fucking way. This is a king.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you let it overnight and it's all yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, if anyone wants a Wink Bed King, I'll sell it to you for $700. I still have it. Bought it for $1,500. Fucking A.
That's funny.
Anyway,
hey.
So yes, there are plans afoot.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's going to happen. I'm not sure when, and I will accept help on some of the things I need.
Yeah.
Like, there is at least one thing I do need help
Let me
with.
ask you this question but
like, half of my studio is on huge silver stainless steel carts.
Yeah.
Like shelved carts.
Yeah.
Like, my whole thing around me is multiple stainless. So I just put shit on there and I just roll it into elevators.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Question for you as a person to another person. How good are you at asking for help?
As a person?
Yeah, as a human. As a human being, not as the mindless automaton that you usually are. How are you?
Dude, I am. Let's see. How do I put this? I am fucking horrible at it.
This is why we're friends.
I'm square Gen X.
Yeah.
And therefore, my upbringing, my life has always been, shut up, don't bother anyone, and figure it out.
Fuck it, I'll do it myself.
Right? Figure it out. I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
I got in so much trouble. When I started St. James Media, I had someone working for me.
Yeah.
Well, I had a few people working for me. And I got in so much trouble because I wouldn't give them the work. and I would just, it was like, well, why don't you just, and I would get pissed off and be like, well, why don't you just do it? You log on to this thing, and here's how you figure out the publishing, and here's an IPI, and blah, 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 all the terms, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, you have to train me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go fucking Google it. What do you mean I have to train you? Go do it. Figure it out. Like, I was like, if you care, and I mean, I made a horrible mistake. This is bad for people who are like me. I made the mistake of placing my, like, the way that I am, my MO on somebody else. Yeah. and equating that with not caring enough about it. If you cared enough about it, you would go seek out the information yourself. You would go learn it yourself. You go get a YouTube video, whatever, figure it out.
Yeah.
And because that's the way I feel about things.
Totally.
And so I got in a lot of trouble, and you know, it was like, if you're going to have someone work for you, you have to give them the work.
Yeah.
And then I would give them the work and they wouldn't do it right.
Oh.
And then they came back to me and they're like, well, dude, you got to fucking train me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, well, in the time that I train you, I could have gotten this done. Every startup guy, every business owner has said that very same thing.
Everybody said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The number one entrepreneurial mistake.
It's true twice.
Yeah.
It's true twice.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, yeah, you got to train them, and you could have done it quicker then.
Yeah.
And then the next time the kind of shit comes up and they're like, I need you to clarify some things.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn it, I'm getting away from my work.
Yeah.
Why do I have anyone working for me anyway? This is bullshit. Do your job, you know.
Yeah.
And then I go back and I'm like, oh, I didn't explain that. Like, I didn't train you well enough.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you know, then you're like such an asshole. You're like, what do you mean? I spent, a total of 4 hours with you and you don't have this down? Like, I've done this for my whole life. What the fuck? How don't you know music publishing?
Yeah. There's a thing I was reading about. I'm reading a book right now. About cannabis.
Book.
I'm reading like 4 books right now and listening to 2. I'm actually listening to a scary book on Audible right now.
That was my question. Yeah. Listening or reading, and then
I'm listening
reading
to 2
pages or a Kindle.
I'm reading 4 actual pages.
I like that.
So
it's
a wonderful experience. But I'm reading a book right now in which he's talking about like kind of entrepreneurial snafus, shall we say, and one of them is after the training piece, where you get to a place where you, by reacting certain ways to your new employees or your hires or your contractors or whatever, you're actually encouraging them to bother you with questions consistently rather than figure it out themselves at a certain point. And it's really, really difficult as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, to figure out that place where you go, you know what? You have enough information. You're either going to fuck it up or you're going to figure it out. And I need to let you figure out how to do either one of those things.
Amen.
Right, and that's really hard to do.
But that's holding my worst properties like as being right. You know what the difference is, though, is that there has to be consequences, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if they don't figure it out, and you have given them enough information to where you feel as if they should be able to, and they don't figure it out, well, then you know what you have to do. Fire them and fucking find another person. And I bet most people that run businesses like me, that's the worst part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interviewing and looking over are you just a good person?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we can work with anybody. Like, I don't need a Harvard graduate, and you're lying about half of it anyway. But you know, I've seen your LinkedIn. Yeah. But you know, that's the problem for me as a business owner is like I like using contractors and doing deals with people, but like I do probably still need an assistant. I probably still need a second. Yeah. And to actually make the shit go. Yeah. To do the stuff.
Somebody to do the grunt work.
Yeah. And I mean, the problem is that things languish without it. Yeah. And I'm kind of more comfortable with that than like disappointingly firing someone.
Well, there's a piece of it that's like, you know, with the right person, with the right chemistry, with the right character and the right chemistry, the competence part will show up. Right. Yeah. So like if I got somebody coming in who's like, is a good person, is willing to learn, and they've got and we kind of vibe together, I can teach them how to do anything because I know that their character is going to impel them to really work at getting the competence piece down. Yeah. Yeah. And but it's the person that whose character says, you need to do this for me, and I've been dealing with a few of those lately. That make it really, really, really challenging to work with them. Right? I need a little bit of self accountability here. Right? You need like the person needs to be accountable for themselves and what they're able to do and what they're willing to do as well. I've got a couple of studio things where I'm dealing with people that are not of my choice. Musicians that are coming in with somebody else, and I'm working with one person in particular, and they're doing, and the other person is just kind of being a giant pain in the ass, and they have fine ideas, but they're, so the competence piece is there, but the other two pieces are not as strong as I would like to be, the character and the chemistry piece. So I'm like, they might have, a little bit of chemistry between them, but not enough to justify the pain in the assery that is happening in the room.
Right.
So,
just to be clear, none of these people were those. We all vibed well together.
Yeah.
And it was most likely my fault that I didn't train people enough on something that takes most musicians a lifetime to learn. Because for whatever reason, I was blessed with understanding music publishing early on.
Yeah.
And I would understand other musicians that just were like, the second I would start talking about masters and syncs and synchronization, and their eyes would just roll in the back of their head.
I see it happen now.
It was like Bill Burr. They just let it go. Let it go. Just...
Yeah.
Our Father who art in heaven.
But that's true.
And I get it. So, I get it. I know it's boring to a lot of people. To me, for whatever reason, it's passion, and I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
And these people were too. And it was I will just say, categorically, it was my fault for not training them well enough.
Well, there you go.
That it didn't work out. And also that I wasn't really at a place in my life where I'm able to really give up delegate work. And I have run other businesses where I have delegated and just let people go do your thing.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
Yeah.
And I'm okay giving up power. I don't care about power. I want the work to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm fairly fucking good at what I do.
You're really fucking
good. And so
good at what you
that's
do.
my problem, is that if I'm on it, I kind of want to fail or succeed based on what I'm doing, and not with some, God, it's a horrible word, but someone like underling or somebody that is working and assisting you.
Yeah.
If they fuck it up, I know myself, and I will have trouble forgiving you.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Well,
I know, but I just know thyself.
Have you considered therapy?
Yes, I have.
I think that, I do believe that, much like Ted Lasso and Richmond, most companies could probably benefit from some type of couples counseling, for the employees and management, because it is that kind of relationship, especially if you're spending that amount. You're spending a fuckload of time together. It'd probably behoove you to learn how to communicate with each other and how to communicate for what you ask for, what you need, and that kind of stuff. So it's, I think that's important. And I wonder if that's...
Yes, but that doesn't... Okay. We can delve into this a little bit.
You want to go swimming?
Because there is another side of that. So the reason why you have someone is because you lack...
time.
You don't have enough capacity for the things that you're doing in the amount of time you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So you need to get someone else to offload that work to.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have added to yourself more time to train that person, to take their fucking invoices, to take their worksheet, how long they worked, what their questions are, answer more emails, did they come into work, hold them responsible, all of that kind of crap. So now you even have more work that is replacing the work you offloaded. The work offloaded is not getting done on time. Add in therapy. Now we both have another hour a week that we have to spend not doing the work and continually trying to figure out how to communicate with each other through another intermediary. And then you have to work on the actual work of doing that. So then you set up a Tuesday meeting for our communication. We will discuss things today, and we're going to discuss them using the theories and the concepts we got in therapy. And so while that all sounds great for people, it's great for people, I would say as a capitalist, it is a poor use of time. If you take all of that out and you just burn yourself out, you can get the work done, Stu.
Yeah.
I don't need the assistant. But I can just go without sleep and do more Adderall or whatever.
You can't. And
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding on
you.
that. You guys don't do that.
Don't at me. Don't at me. I'm gonna disagree with you 100%, because all of those things that you're talking about do not add up to a good life. And isn't at the end of the day, the whole thing that you're looking for is if you bring somebody on in your company, you may have to spend a week training them. The second week might be easier. The second week will be easier.
We're going broke. What are you doing?
Well, if you're going broke, you can't afford to hire somebody.
That week could kill me.
Well, I'm just saying the point is,
No,
is
you are completely right.
You
I'm
slow
kidding.
down. You slow down to speed up a little bit, right? And if you bring on a person that has the right character and chemistry with you, you can teach them to be competent. And
Yes, over time,
over
it is a
time,
net
over
benefit.
time, there is a net benefit. And isn't that the fucking goal? Is like you're trying to take your life back, and you can take your life back by giving a little piece of this to someone else to do.
Dude, not until maybe 4 years ago did I feel that working and grinding and blah, blah, blah was for a better life.
Yeah.
It was for
Were you trying to prove something to someone?
competition, succeeding, making money, getting... And I always have this kind of horrible mindset of like... And I used to do it. I mean, used to be de rigueur.
Yeah.
I would grind, hard.
Yeah.
And then take 1 week in Mexico.
Yeah.
And be like, it's all worth it.
And then
I would grind, hard, and then take 4 days lost in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's all worth it. But what I realized from other people in my life is during that grind part, I didn't go to that dinner. I didn't see that person on their birthday. I didn't go to that show. First of all, I didn't do shit for me, my music, my writing, my stuff, my books, my whatever.
Yeah.
I was just helping the startup or doing whatever and like grinding. And so it was until probably about 4 or 5 years ago that I realized, the whole point of this is to stop doing this.
Yeah.
How can you make it work well enough to where you don't have to do it all the time?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to work so hard. Like literally, I figured this out a few years ago. I was working so hard to make sure that I would continue working harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
More opportunities, more opening, more whatever, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And that's what gets you running a music startup over here and pitching over here and then doing music supervision on a movie over there, licensing music back here, then writing music. And like, of course, nothing, then doing all the other stuff. And of course, nothing like, it just like it burned me out. I mean, I learned a fuckload doing all of that, but like, none of those one things would do anything but put me in a better position for other people to ask me to do things or for other opportunities for myself.
True. That's fair. Like, and like one of the reasons, like in your 20s, like it's easier to do that. In your 30s, it's still kind of easier to do that. But when I hit 40, which was 43 years ago,
93 days ago.
when I was looking around, I'm going, and this is like a problem I see in a variety of businesses, which is why we're talking about, mailbox money and kind of getting that passive residual stuff happening, is because there is a point where you look around your business and you realize, oh fuck, if I'm not here, nothing happens. And and you go,
that's pretty simple when you don't have any employees too.
and then even if you do have an employee, they don't work and you don't work if you don't get the work, right? Like, I mean, I hire contractors all the time to do things. So like, I'm still responsible for carrying all of the weight of getting the business and getting the work. Now, at a certain point you go, all right, I need to figure out how can I do the thing that I'm best at, which is we are both very, very fucking good at the game of music. Both really great at it, right? And so, like, how do we do the game that we love, play the game that we love, but not be the sole providing factor for the return?
Yeah.
Not be the linchpin in the model, in the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, go.
This is why I'm not as much of a, like, to be honest, this is why I'm not really as much of a content creator as I could be. I have all the ideas. I know all the tricks. I have all the things. It's not because I'm afraid of my face being online or, want to be faceless. It's not that necessarily. It's that I have worked with a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I know how fucking hard it is.
Yeah.
And it's more so not just like how difficult it is to do time-wise. Mm-hmm. It's like what it does to you personally. And like, you have a horrible day. And so I know a few people who are like business coaches and moms and stuff like that. where like they have to get on and do their TikTok, their reel, their Instagram thing or whatever for their business. But they just broke down for 30 minutes taking care of their kid.
Yeah.
And you have like a window of an hour.
Yeah.
Now, you all probably know a few of these people. Elise Myers is a great example of this, who come out and they're pretty honest about it. They're like, you guys, I like to be open and be honest on these things, and then make that part of their brand. But that's also a problematic part of your brand.
Yeah.
When you constantly when you see what happens to you, because what they don't get is that other people see that and go, oh, fuck, this is the success that you're trying to teach me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to break down like that in my Nissan Altima in the morning outside of McDonald's, you know,
yeah.
And have to do the content thing right after that. I don't want that life.
Yeah.
And so this goes into our topic of the day.
Yes.
Which is basically like the idea that artists are expected to constantly be in front of fans.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly try to audience build, constantly be promoting music. And if you do it right, if you listen to the show, you know that I at least think that the perfect release schedule is to basically do one every 5 weeks after February. And there's a few holiday ones built in on the back end, but basically an EP over the year. But you record it in December, January, February, or whatever, most of it if you want.
Yeah.
And then, so you still do the artistic thing, record your album, record the EP, record these songs, but then you meet them out and you successfully waterfall release them. But to do that also means that you are grinding on social media. Well, one or the other, one or a few other things could happen.
Yeah.
You could have a ton of money in press and have other people do it for you.
Yeah.
You could have a record label that has a bunch of money in marketing behind the promotion of the record that they need to make money on.
Yep.
You could have a mixture of those. But here's what we've learned in the last year. And I think everybody knows this now. None of that matters. You still have to show up in front of the camera. They want to see you.
You still have to get the content made.
And it still has to be you.
Yeah.
Like literally you in front of the tour bus. Literally you in the restaurant. Literally you in your bedroom.
Yeah.
And so it sucks. And there was Gretchen Peters, who's an excellent singer-songwriter, primarily a songwriter out of Nashville now.
Yeah.
Had a big post that a friend of ours had shared, and we did, what we do. So we go in and we start arguments on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw. It was an entertaining
But basically,
one.
it was like the music business has become increasingly relentlessly demanding of artists. The pressure to release new content, not a synonym for art, to churn out singles and albums and videos and reels and posts and prescribed schedule, often utterly out of sync with the artist's internal one, isn't producing more or greater art. It's just increasing the noise and exhausting artists. Okay. So to unpack that, agree.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Agree. However, this post falls into the world that I describe as that's how you want it to be. There's a whole lot of this in music land. Well, if you got 1,000 fans that all bought a physical copy of your album every year, you'd make $100,000. Okay? That's
Did my
how
eyes
you
just get really big right there?
want it to be.
Yeah.
Or bands should be able to keep every dollar of their merch at clubs. Not the Live Nation deal withstanding now.
Yeah.
But with merch fees and all of that. Okay, that's how you want it to be.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. Independents should get more radio airplay because the song should matter. Okay? That's how you want it to be.
Yeah.
When I have 1,000 followers or 25,000 followers on my platform and I release my song, how come I don't get 25,000 streams? Because 25,000 people don't see it.
Yeah, because it's not
And you
being
think
released to
that
people.
that's how it works,
Yeah.
but that's how you want it to be.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of that in the music industry, right? How things should work, what
Yeah.
it should be, what's best for artists. But I constantly try to pull people back down to earth and go, okay, I want that too.
Yeah.
I believe in universal basic income. All right. But that's not what we have. That's not the thing. And so it's a constant argument that's going on here. And this doesn't mean we get a comment a lot that we don't care about art enough, that this is all about business.
Okay.
And So to that, and I want to hear all your thoughts on this.
Mm-hmm.
To that, I would say, and I have said this before, but creating the best thing you've ever created in your life, music, movies, books, paintings, all art is the same. Okay? Creating the best thing you've ever created in your life, and it may be objectively great, genius work, doesn't matter at all if other people don't experience it.
Mm-hmm.
So the part that is probably the most important by 1%, the creation of it, that's great. It exists in the world, and that's good for you. But for it to become known as a great piece of art and become commerce and allow you to live and create the next great piece of art, whatever, is the other 51%, the promotion of it. How you get other people to experience it, how you let other people find out about it. And so I think, personally, the business side of music promotion is supporting the art. Without it, we don't get like Teen Spirit to Everybody. That ends up being a song in Aberdeen that only 500 people have seen in local clubs. Mm-hmm. And it never becomes something that like makes thousands and thousands of kids pick up an electric guitar.
Yeah.
And hundreds of thousands of people wear flannel.
Yeah.
And shout out against the fucking government and against this capitalist lifestyle and all of the things that breeds. Mm-hmm. The music video, all of that, and Dave Grohl going on forever. Like, I'm just saying the promotion of that is the reason why there is great art. It's not because there's just great art. So anytime you hear me talking about the business of it, you should know that I think the business of it is what's the right word? Amplifying great art.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should we just do art for art's sake and fuck the business?
I think that to be a creative person, your art has to be valid and worthy to you first. It has to be great to you first before it can go out to a public marketplace. But once you release it to a public marketplace and put it out, your value and your self-worth cannot be attached to it anymore. You have to look at it and go, I made that. I think it's fucking great. Wherever other people think of it, that's fine. It has no bearing on me and my personal self and my self-worth and my value. So once you put it out there, it's no longer just sitting in front of you. You're no longer the operant factor on whether it's good or not. I'm sorry, you're no longer the sole operant factor on whether it's good or not. You can believe that it's the greatest thing that you've ever made, and that may be true. But once you put it out to other people and you're expecting other people to have an opinion and support you and give you money that they've worked hard for to buy your art in any way, shape, or form, they also have to believe that it's good and worth it and all that kind of stuff. And some people might just not. Not because it's not good, but it's just not what they're into. Right? I was having a conversation with somebody recently about he did an event, he did a show with his friend, and he ended up opening for kind of an 80s rock band, and he's an acoustic singer-songwriter player, and the audience did not enjoy him.
No.
And I
just
said,
by seeing him, I'm sure they're like, oh, here we
go.
go.
Oh, yeah. Look at, my feelings. That guy, you know. He's an incredible artist. Absolutely wonderful. Like, you know, doing his own thing, really got his own vibe, got his own brand, doing his own thing, doing the shit right because it's something he believes in and he's really proud of. And I fucking love it. And I'm always encouraging him to just, man, hone that. Do that. That's your thing. Find your tribe. And beat the crap out of it and just go do your thing. But the question he asked me was, he was like, should I have done something differently for that crowd? And I said, I have two opinions. I said, one of them is, if I go to a bar and I ask for a Guinness and they hand me a gin and tonic, what am I going to think of that bartender? Because I didn't get what I asked for, right?
Right.
So as the customer, I'm asking for something and you're not giving it to me. However, that's not the show that you were at. The show you were at was, I'm going to see original live music, and I say, fuck them. do your thing and find the people that love what you do. Just don't play in that show ever again.
Yeah, don't take the gig is probably the first answer.
Yeah.
But I would say if you're a showman, fucking figure out one of those 80s rock songs and do your version of it.
That's
and
what
at
I
least
said
you'll
to him
have
too.
a touch point.
Yeah. I said the same thing. Yeah. Do a cover
Do
of
a lounge version of Shout at the Devil or something.
Yeah.
You know?
And so, it's that kind of thing. It's like, but you're also
Look, I'm different. I'm competitive as fuck. I'm like, I never lose on stage.
Yeah.
Never. I will fucking win. I don't care if I drag 10 of you out of here with me.
Well,
I'm winning.
Yeah. I agree
I'll
with
figure
that.
out a way.
But that's the thing is the other piece of it is it's not just about the art. Once you put it into the public forum, it becomes about entertainment for other people. And so it's not just about your art anymore. It's now about like finding people that like what you do. And the way you do that is you market your shit. You find out who likes it and who doesn't like it. And you go, okay, this group of people likes that. And the more you do it, the more information you get. And the further you can go down the rabbit hole into who your tribe is. But one of the reasons I think we talk about business more than we talk about art is I trust you as an artist to already have that fucking taken care of.
Yeah, should be a given.
What we're talking about is giving you ways to support that so you can keep doing it.
This podcast is not for shitty music makers. If you're a shitty music maker, none of this is going to help you.
I saw a singer last night, and I cannot remember their last name. I remember the first name was Jordan. Incredible singer, songwriter, very authentic. Really, trans individual, just and all of the things they sang about were, and I'm trying to be correct about pronouns, but I'm probably fucking it up. That were so personal and so like open about like their journey and what they were going on, and incredible technician, kind of one of their first shows. And I watched this and I went, holy shit, that's the reason I came out tonight, was that. Right?
Right.
And it wasn't because, and I'm not looking at it and going, I can market that, I can sell that, I can do that. I'm having a
good for you.
Cohesive. Yeah, well, it took a minute. I just
while you're telling me the story, I am working on a deck on my laptop.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I've already got their name and their contact information, and we're already working.
I just got a DM, so
it's on right now. But like that, I was watching it from an artistic place, and really, and I will go see this person again. And the only reason I would want to have a conversation with that person about business is because I want them to keep making art. That's it. Right. I mean, obviously, there's part of it. It's like, well, yeah, I make art too, and I like to, be like. But if I'm having a conversation with you about your art and how to do things, like I send a message like to somebody that's not paying me right now, but somebody that I like as a person and I like what they're doing. I said, hey man, fix this on your YouTube stuff, please. And he took the notes. He went, shit, thanks for that. Appreciate it. I'll get it right for the next one. I said, cool. Just keep doing that, and you'll build yourself you'll start seeing some results. And it was but I'm not doing that because I now pay me $5,000 for that little tidbit of information. I'm not doing it because of that. I'm doing that because I want him to make more art, and that's why we do what we do here. Is I want you to make more art. And the only way you can make more art is if you have all of the other pieces in your pyramid and hierarchy of needs taken care of, right?
I'm trying to extend your quit time.
Yeah, exactly. Quitting time.
Like, how far can you go?
Yeah.
How many times can you pull the trick over and over and over?
Yeah.
Like, how can you extend your quit time to where you get to a place in your life where you're like, oh, this is just what I do.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it happens.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. It's not like it just sort of...
Yeah.
It's not like it's just sort of one day you're like, oh, I'm in the music business. It's just sort of...
Well, that's what happened to
me. Yeah, you wake up later and you're like, oh, I guess this is what I do.
It's 5 p.m. I'm supposed to be in the studio already. Guess I'm a musician now.
Yeah, guess I'm a musician guy.
Yeah,
or what are those people?
I'm a troubadour.
So I think one thing that's really important to, as we try to hand out some little tips here. One thing is like really important to understand is that most indie musicians don't reach enough people to even find out whether people like them.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have a big enough sample.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
You get out there and you find out exactly what, like, and you know, the other part of it is your audience might not be in the places that everybody else's is. You know,
yeah.
Like we talked about how EDM, hip hop, and pop are the huge genres, and EDM in particular. You sent out an article this week about how EDM was the biggest requested genre in Colorado, if I remember correctly,
right.
The biggest listened to genre, something like that. So if you're not playing in one of those genres, your success in those marketplaces may be a little lower than you expect. So you have to find other ways to do it. Not that it's not possible. Not that it's, it's not, not that it's impossible to create and build a sustainable lifestyle in music. It's just that you may have to be a little bit more creative because you're not playing in any of those big genres in that marketplace.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well,
Rant
do you want
over.
to get into a little sync of the week stuff here?
Sync. Sync. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first? I'm going on my
I
list.
can try to go first. I had like two, and one is a really long one. One's kind of a shorter one.
Well, go for it. I'll make it easy.
Yeah, so there's a show that I'm watching on Apple TV called Lessons in Chemistry.
Ooh.
The title track is Wham! Rebop Boom Bam.
Hell yes.
Composed by Eddie Durham. Lyrics by Taps Miller. Mm-hmm. This one is sung by Mildred Bailey.
Ooh. All right.
There is a whole story to this about who the song was done for. Durham was a guitarist. He has a Denver connection.
Oh.
Fucking Glenn Miller, who has a Fort Morgan connection. Like, there's just so much to it. But I think I'm probably going to drop that as a separate pod.
Yeah.
Because there is so much to this song and why it was done. And Mildred Bailey, who sounds black.
Yeah.
And was seen as white at the time.
Interesting.
Was actually Coeur d'Alene Native American. I mean, there's so much
Can we do a quick shot on this, or is it going to be require a full hour?
We're going to do a quick shot eventually on it.
I want to know about that.
But anyway, Lessons in Chemistry, huge roadblock here.
Okay.
Get through the first episode and watch the second episode if you have time. Mm-hmm. And then get back to me when you start number 3.
Oh.
Ended number 2, start number 3. It's worth it to watch the first episode. It's Brie Larson.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's on Apple TV.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's on Apple TV, and it's about chemistry and chemists and cooking tangentially.
Yeah.
But, Leah, get back to me.
Okay,
But,
I'll get into that.
Because I want to talk about this shit.
Yeah. Like,
But I can't
need an
because
outlet.
I don't want to ruin it.
Oh, yeah, I'll get into it.
Okay.
Okay, so...
by the way, supervisor Christine Green Rowe, she does Apple stuff. She did For All Mankind, which has amazing music supervision on it.
Yes, it does.
So we love Christine Green Rowe, Christine Green Rowe, Christine Green Rowe.
Fantastic. So I'm currently addicted to Welcome to Wrexham, and I'm pacing myself through season 2 so I can get through all of it. But in the meantime, I also started rewatching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So I started at the beginning, and I'm into season. I'm into like season 3 now. But in season 2, there was an episode where they're all sitting at the bar singing probably my favorite sync from Barry from the final season, More Than Words, once again.
Nice.
And solid harmonies, I will say. It sounded like it was recorded on the soundstage. Really solid harmonies. That's season 2, episode 2. And Ray Espinola Jr. is the supervisor on that. I really enjoyed them singing hammered More Than Words and harmonizing in the bar together, the lot of them.
Very nice.
That's a very
good and More Than Words shows up again.
It wasn't the track, though. It was them singing it. So here's my question for you, Mr. Music Supervisor Expert Person. How is that different than syncing the master? When you have
you just get the publisher's permission.
Okay.
Yeah, and the publisher gets paid.
Yeah.
And therefore the publisher and songwriters get paid.
Fantastic.
And as long as the song isn't released as a separate musical element to streamers and shit. They don't own a master on it. So it's just an ephemeral use on a TV show.
Fantastic.
But it will list the cast members who sang it as performers.
Oh.
And sometimes they get like SAG-AFTRA money.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, not right now.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Maybe they're
they
getting
would
it right
still
now.
get residuals.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as they don't do
And
a
it's
full
a
body
different
scan.
pay for like singing. So it's like sometimes like commercial singers get that money, and it's different money than it is for like your acting roles.
Well, some people, like when they do the singing part, they have somebody else dub that vocal and they get that. Yeah. So
that
makes
person
sense.
would get paid.
Yeah. So, cool.
But a lot of times that's their sort of day rate money, and if they're not union and so you just go to the studio in New York and bang it out and take your $500 and go home.
$500. That sounds great.
So that's that. All right.
Bye,
hey, let's mention something here as we wrap this sucker up. Cue the music. Check out StuMillerMusic.com. Stu is you're ramping up a little bit more consulting, and I think you have some openings for recording. No,
I have some studio space this late fall, early winter. It's a time to create right now.
It's time to do your record.
And the nice thing is because of what we do podcast wise and do with the music business stuff, I know what to do at the end of the production to make sure that your song has the best chance of some type of sync placement.
Yeah.
And
so
get your fucking paperwork together.
Get tracks delivered and stems delivered correctly. From someone who knows how to do it. And you also do mixing and stuff, so if someone's recorded at home, you might be able to fix it.
I can. I know I can do that. Mm-hmm.
All right, remember to rate and subscribe, give us 5 stars, leave a hilarious comment and something with cuss words over there on the Apple Podcast. Yep. You can follow us wherever you follow people at 2ShotsMusicPod, and email us 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com. And until we speak to you next time.
Are we still Venmo and Liquid Death? Because I've been enjoying both of those products lately.
Venmo, your money, your move. Liquid Death, murder your thirst.
And I did today with 2 of those bad boys.
All right, until we talk to you next time, you guys go write a great song, and we love you.
Love you. Bye. Make great art. Bye.